Hello and welcome back to Goldling Paddling. Not what you've got that in my brain. Goldling Squid Junction here, Squid Junction 40. I told you all that it would be an incredibly hype match, and you see now what I was talking about. Seafoam versus Sonder. Seafoam, an up-and-coming team, showing just what they're made of, versus Sonder, who I believe a bit older of a team, but also very, very powerful. Incredibly excited for this match. I'm a big Seafoam fan personally, but I mean Sonder is nothing to sneeze at. Asec, are you excited as well?
Heck yeah, I'm excited. Both these teams are very strong. We've been seeing it. This tournament is absolutely loaded. Seeing some very, very strong teams fighting, and this is just this isn't even top cut. This is just it's the entire tournament.
It's one big double elim bracket.
It's one big bracket, yeah. But this is like the start. This is the very beginning of the tournament. It's just gonna go up from here. Like usually at this part of the tournament, there aren't that many teams that are this good.
It's just how stacked this is. It just goes to show.
Yeah.
But as we go into it, we're going to see this incredible matchup we've got here with Sonder running backlifts, running incredibly aggressive duo. The classic machine, the classic splash. We're also running Wiper and that new Tri Nouveau, while Seafoam, opting to run, bury on that E-leader, and the rest also just pure aggro.
Yeah, very, very interesting comps. I think that Wiper Tri synergy is really, really strong. And I think working with the machine and the splash, very, very good. You can make so much stuff work here. As long as you're as long as you're running some of those splashes machines, a lot works. Which is it's pretty cool. But we can see that Sonder they pushed down to 75 but lost control of the zone, with Seafoam grabbing control and trying to push forward, vying for control, just trying to see what they can do. But that T-Tech is going to get pounced on by that Wiper and Tri-Slosher, and they are going to immediately just push into that zone and take it back. They have lost the lead, but both of these points are very, very low.
Seafoam having that backline are going to be really good on the defense and, just holding when they get offense here. But Sonder is kind of putting it in their tracks. If Max over there didn't get, or not Madness, sorry. Madness over there didn't just get a double with Zuka, putting Seafoam in a very, very good spot to hold the zone and push forward past it yet again. We see Max over there striking under their snipe, hoping to get some pigs like they do on that crab tank, completely wasting it, making it get no value. And Seafoam is back in the lead here, and they look like they're going to be able to continue holding for quite a while if they play their cards right.
Yeah, that was a really devastating play from Seafoam there. Absolutely taking all of Sonder's resources and just throwing them in the trash. That crab tank getting absolutely destroyed, sending them back to square one, wasting a lot more time. But you can see that Sonder has managed to get some picks, and they are now in control of the zone, applying that brutal penalty to Seafoam, getting the 2 picks on them as well, leading to pretty much a wipe here. But speaking of wipe, that Wiper does go down as well, and Seafoam is starting to get specials, get resources, and potentially get some space here. With that Trizuka coming out, it's going to get a decent amount of control here, and we can see the zone has officially flipped.
Yeah, something I'm seeing Sonder do really well is play with each other excellently. They're pairing up, they're playing by each other, they're always in each other's assisting range, and when they go down, they just move as a single unit here. But speaking of going down, they are starting to get taken out one by one. They are 3 down, only the Splash left alive, and Seafoam is once again going to defend their lead and move back in. Very already over here on position on their stack, trying to lock out mid. They have their wave work at the ready, and the other members of Seafoam are starting to get specials as well. This hold is going to last for a while if I have any predictions about it.
Yeah, and you can see that Booyah coming out just to save that machine's life. That's not exactly how you want to use your resources at this point in the game. And forcing that is very, very good from Seafoam here. And the timer is starting to get very, very tight here, but the zone has gone into neutral, and it does look like it could potentially flip here. If Sonder goes down here and loses this painting battle, they will lose the game, and it does look like they have gone down, and they don't quite cap the zone in time. Very, very good game from both teams. Well played by everyone here.
Yeah, Seafoam, absolutely powerful team, but Sonder put up a very good fight. Just able to take the zone back, just not able to quite hold it as long as they, think, or like as long as they certainly would hope to. But Splat Zones is probably the mode that most favors a backline comp, and with Seafoam, always running a backline with Barry, usually running either the heavy or that E-liter. It's we can definitely see a different game here as we move on to a mode that requires a bit more aggression on tower control, Sturgeon, Shipyard.
Yeah, I do think tower control overall is a lot more forgiving than zones. Zones is just absolutely brutal, very unforgiving. Making mistakes is very punishing here. But in tower control, the objective moves a lot more slowly. Those checkpoints are very generous. And so it's a lot more about consistently being able to just win fights instead of just being able to win 3 fights in a row. So it's definitely a very different feel, a very different vibe than Splat Zones. And going on Sturgeon, it's also a very interesting map. The tower path on this is in a very strange spot for a lot of it. There's a lot of high ground that the enemy team can shoot at you from while that tower is moving. So you really have to push ahead of that. You can't really try to push the tower from right there.
Yeah, but also it can be incredibly awkward to defend sometimes if you don't know what you're doing. It's just an incredibly interesting map. It's balanced on both offense and defensive side, and obviously the spinner in mid just makes things extra weird with the dynamic of like, okay, well they could be approaching from spinner, but now it's going down, so you have to keep track of certain things. It's interesting. It's a map that it's pretty generally well liked. I think.
Yeah, this map is very, very solid. It's one of the classics. Not quite as classic as something like Mako or Inkblot, but it's very, very good. And I do think Sturgeon is also just very fun to move around on. Those grates are very fun. It's almost like Flounder in that way, where you can just move around the map in really creative ways, and it's one of my favorites.
I love it when a team goes into, or you just see a member pop down in a fight club, and they're up to something.
Yeah, that place is absolute chaos. I really love that. I love how the Call Out Fight Club has stuck with the competitive community.
But we see, I believe these are similar or the exact same comps. Might see a few things swapped out here, but still a lot of aggression from Sonder and a slightly more held back reserved comp from Seafoam. But we saw how that went last round, and we'll see how they take advantage of it here. Tri-Strikes immediately going down from both sides, but Seafoam takes the tower and is already pushing up ahead. 2 down on the side of Sonder, and beautiful pick from that Zuka there, and we'll see if they're able to turn that around because of it.
Yeah, and you can see that this machine does have this Booyah at the ready. It's letting them just stay in this very, very risky spot because they know as soon as things turn for the worse, that suction bomb being there, they are good to go. Ooh. But you can see that they just got a bunch of suction bombs thrown under them, preventing them from being able to throw that Booyah bomb. And that actually ended up getting a pick on them, which was actually really funny. I haven't seen anyone do that play before, but we are just 15 points away from the KO right now. Sonder has to play very, very fast here in order to prevent this tower from being KO'd, and it does look like that they have managed to push it back at least a little bit. But given the fact that they have gone 2 down, it could be it's anyone's game right now.
I know Seafoam though is keeping up the pressure. They're getting the jumps and getting their backline into a spot where they can watch a lot of the action and make sure that Sonder does not feel comfortable moving. Already back on the tower here, but these players are just doing everything they can to try to take some picks out, and it's only the E-leader left alive, meaning that it is likely the end of Seafoam's push, at least until they can jump in and get some picks going on for their end. But Sonder finally has some room to breathe and has time to make a plan of how they are going to push instead of just how are we not going to die here.
Yes, indeed, but that machine coming in for the flank, Seafoam absolutely collapsing on Sonder there. Very, very well played, completely turning that momentum around, and the blink of an eye, pretty much 3 people going down all at once. It's going to give them a lot of control here, and you can see that Booyah bomb trying to be thrown here with that Wiper is really threatening to get that pick on the Booyah bomb when it landed. They didn't quite get that, but it still can be very threatening. You can see so many Tri-Strikes coming down all at once, and Seafoam has gone 3 down yet again. This game is so back and forth.
It's only that E-leader left alive, but we saw how that went last time, how fast they were able to turn it around as long as that leader stayed alive. Already the members of Seafoam are filing back in, getting, trying to ping for special, but also just applying pressure to the enemy team. We do see one of the members of Sonder already go down. That Booyah Bomb is gonna kind of be interesting there. 2 members down on the side of Sonder, and Seafoam are already back in the upper hand, it looks like. Just a lot of skirmishing going around across the field.
Yeah, we can see this machine trying to fight this leader here. And you can see that almost their entire team has rotated
What side
back.
of the map are they on?
They are in a very, very strange spot here, and they have managed to force a trade with that spotter shot, which is fairly good for them. Given the fact that they are, and actually, no, they aren't actually in the lead. Never mind. It's so hard to keep track of these teams sometimes. But you can see that the tri-strikes are starting to come out on both sides here at the same time. You can see that both teams kind of have the same timing for when a tri-strike is good, and both of the splatter shots, or both of the splash neos are actually in sync with each other.
Yeah, we see Sonder here doing exactly what you need to do in a tower control push, pushing not only right around the tower, but way far ahead of it, already before the tower had even entered the court, pushing ahead of it, trying to gain pressure, trying to gain some control there. As they approach 30 points, they do still have 2 up. It's only only that Splash Neo, though. They're going to get taken out. The jump is likely not going to survive for all that long, except they do, and they're going to be able to kind of keep something around here, keep a bit of control of mid, hopefully, rearing for another push as we get into the last minute of this game, because that is what it's going to take to get in the lead and take this game back from the brink of death.
Yes, indeed. Both these teams very much fighting for their lives here. But Sonder has gone 3 down, which is not going to be very good for them. With less than a minute on the clock, they are really going to be pressured for time here. Wiping in this situation means you're going to need to get a lot of resources very quickly, and Seafoam is already taking space, which is not going to be very good for them.
Yeah. Especially if you look at the top bar, they have every single one of their specials at their disposal, all the resources in the world, no pressure for them. If they, start to get in an uncomfortable spot, they can just back out, take a defensive position, pop their specials, and call it a day. They basically have the GG Booyah, or not anymore, they have the GG Tri-Strikes. Actually, it's starting to turn things around. Sonder is starting to get picks that they would need and just a tiny bit of control. They go for a pick on the E-leader, unfortunately not able to get it. They do get it now, though. There are 2 down, 2 and 2 on the field, but unfortunately they get on the tower a second too late, and that's going to be game 2 going to Seafoam, the set going to Seafoam. But it was very well played from Sonder. I really believe that they could take it back there at the end.
Yeah, that was a very, very intense game, and you can see just Sonder's resilience there. Knowing that they've just wiped in the last minute of the game and they need to push all the way down to basically single digits, and they were still like, yeah, sure, how do we do that? And they managed to get very, very close to initiating that push, which would have been very, very good for them, but they just didn't quite have the resources to get it. They weren't quite able to bait those specials out soon enough, and they just got out-resourced pretty much. But that is going to be that set for Seafoam, and I do believe we are going to be going on yet another short break. These rapid-fire sets back to back to back to back.
Action out here between these awesome teams. Gonna be great to see as we just, like you said, short break. We'll be back. Don't tune away.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!